You're listening to the Gleneagle INEC Arena podcast. Keep up to date with all our events by following us on Facebook or visiting inec.ie. Dublin man Gavin James has well cemented himself into Irish culture as one of our finest singers and songwriters. With 2 studio albums and a live album under his belt, including hits like For You, Nervous, Hearts on Fire, Always and Glow, there's no denying this man's incredible songwriting and vocal ability. With over 1 billion streams online, he is undoubtedly one of our finest exports, playing sold-out shows all across Europe, America and Asia. I caught up with Gavin ahead of his latest show in the Gleneagle INEC Arena on New Year's Eve. Don't forget, if you like this podcast, you can subscribe to it and follow us online at Gleneagle INEC Arena for more. Gavin James.
How's it going?
Welcome back to Killarney. It's great to have you back.
Yeah.
This is
the
I would like
75th time.
I was thinking, and like you started off in this room as well.
In this room, yeah.
It was actually the stage. You can't see it on camera, but the stage was actually
stage
over there.
was mad looking. Yeah, I did a gig here. There's 10 people when I played here first. And I remember getting ready in that room over there and looking out and be like, come on. Somebody else come and ask me. Ended up doing another gig in the pub. Afterwards, just
Where in Killarney?
In just a little pub. You know the little pub that's in the venue in the hotel.
Very good. Yeah.
Ended up running across the way and we did played to more people in the pub.
Yeah. What's it been like if you look back now at those gigs to what you're doing today? Like, you know, I mean, the amount of progress like in such a short space of time. Not just in Ireland, but everywhere around the world. Like, you're making impacts everywhere now.
That's it. I find it's been fun doing it, to be honest. I mean, when I started it, I did like the whole decade thing. See, everybody's doing the decade thing.
Yeah.
Now, I did it yesterday. One of my mates was like, do a decade thing. I was like, I'll do a decade thing.
So, what, 2009, 2011?
It was like 2009, I was in a pub and there was actually 2 people in the photo. And there were the other people at the gig. And then it was a picnic or something like that. But then loads of people are saying in their post, saying like, possibly the best decade I've ever had. About their own post. I was like, but you've surely only been alive for 2 decades.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking too. Like, I mean, if you're 25 or whatever.
It probably is the only decade you can remember, to be honest.
Of course it's going to be class. It's going to be better than the decade before.
Like, well, I mean, but mad. But it's been great. It's been good. I mean, everything outside of Ireland has been very lucky kind of going or getting to do the shows in Holland and stuff and all Europe and all the stuff in America. But yeah.
What happened? I saw something. Was it the Philippines?
Yeah, madness. In South Korea.
South Korea.
Madness.
Yeah. So what happened there?
Well, I was planning to go to South Korea anyway. I was chatting to the boys at Code Line.
Yeah.
And they were going over there and they were just testing the waters. And I checked because you can check online who's listening to what parts, and it was a lot of Malaysia and a lot of Singapore and a lot of South Korea and stuff. So I was like, yeah, okay. So we found a promoter in South Korea that would have us, and then we flew over. And 2 weeks before we flew over, that BTS guy, Jimin,
he
tweeted or did a video about us, and it went mental.
So they're like the biggest boy. They're bigger than One Direction.
They're massive. They're huge. Like they're massive. Like they did like 2 Wembleys.
Yeah,
I think, and it's a mixture of English and South Korean. It's amazing.
And there's like 7 or 8 of them in it as well.
Yeah, class.
Yeah.
But he just gave me a big massive shout out for like the millions of people who are watching. Everything. It's still going mad. Like every time I refresh my Twitter, it's just everybody Korea.
And have you gone back since that tweet said play shows over there?
I did a gig. I did 1 gig there in South Korea in Seoul about a month ago, I think. It was class. Yeah.
It
was class. It was like would have been like a academy kind of size, or Olympia kind of buzz. It was class.
It must be crazy to think, when you're literally there's millions of people listening to you around the world, to just you sitting in your room like writing songs. Like what was it like at the very start? Like were songs something that came easily out of you, or did you find you had to really work on it to write a song?
I had to work on it. Yeah. I had so many bad songs. Not such thing as a bad song, but I kind of I wrote a load of tunes that didn't really mean a lot, didn't have no meaning behind them.
Yeah. And
then after a while, I was doing the gigs in pubs, and I think doing cover songs all the time in the pubs for like 3.5 hours every night for the 4 years I was in Temple Bar really helped me kind of, because I was playing all the biggest songs ever. And then when I was trying to write songs at home, I was like, in a world of all these mad hit songs, I kind of learned from the best nearly because I was playing the songs all the time.
Yeah.
So then after a while, I just kind of grinded it out, and I'd try a new song every night, more or less.
Yeah.
At the pub gigs, and if they didn't go well, I'd be like, and then sometimes they go well, and then one of them went really well, in where I used to be aiming Dorans, and then people started coming in next week for that song and sang along to it. And I was like, and then about a month went by, and everybody was coming in and singing along to this one song I had.
Yeah.
And then I quit because I was like, this is deadly.
Yeah.
People actually sing along to one of my own, which is usually was just Galway Girl and
And
Oasis or everything else.
And did you love doing covers, or did you want to do originals
Class.
as well?
Yeah, some of the best times I've ever doing that.
Yeah.
So much fun. Like it's just playing. There's no stress. It was just deadly.
Yeah.
Also as well, like just getting out of school, I was like 17,
Yeah.
and I went to college, but I didn't really go to college.
What you
For
do?
like 2 months. I did the rock school in Ballyfermot.
Oh yeah.
I went there for like a month.
Yeah.
And then I was doing Temple Bar gigs at that time, and eventually there was 2 gigs and 3 gigs and there's 5 gigs, and then I was out after the gigs.
Yeah,
I was young,
yeah.
And then I was just too hungover to go to college.
Right.
And then, but it was great being 17 years of age and then going into pubs
Yeah.
and doing the gigs and earning, just having a living from doing them gigs so quick from school.
Yeah.
So it was because I never had any money before that from anything, because I worked in Tesco I think for 2 weeks.
Did you work in Tesco?
Yeah.
Where in Dublin?
Prussia Street, or the one in near Manor Street.
Okay, right.
Is it Prussia Street near the cattle market?
Oh God, I don't know.
Yeah, I
That's
used to
very
have
bad.
long red hair down to here.
Yeah,
Down
yeah.
to here, and I used to tie it back. And all the grannies used to think I was a lady, and every time they used to get.
You had no beard,
scared.
obviously, no?
They used to get scared shitless. I had a little beard,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a tiny one, like a 17-year-old beard. And I used to
Right.
turn around and be like, yeah. They'd be looking for the milk and be like, oh, sorry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's nearly 2020 now. That's
Yeah.
acceptable. Like
Class,
right.
my beard wasn't acceptable though. My beard was shocking.
Yeah. So obviously, like you weren't, exactly ecstatic, like working in Tesco for a living. Like
No,
yourself.
the pubs were so much more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was great. I loved them. It was great. Me and my buddy Craig
Mm-hmm.
he's crying outside the moment.
Yeah, I can hear him. Yeah,
Yeah,
he wanted to be interviewed, but
The wow.
yeah. Sorry, Craig.
Sorry.
'Cause Craig and Brian
Yeah.
McGovern, like they would be your best friends growing up as well. In
Yeah,
school.
well, in school, I mean, me and Craig met in school for the the graduation?
Okay, yeah.
So graduation, and we didn't really know each other in school until we did the graduation, and then I was like, oh, you're really good at guitar.
Yeah,
Really good at singing. So we just met each other over that. And then after that, we just kind of hit it off and just been best friends for the last, whatever it was, 10, 13 years.
Yeah. And were you writing together as a band, or were you just...
We're doing cover songs. We wrote together a little bit. I mean, he always wrote by himself, and I wrote by myself, and then we did write songs together eventually.
Yeah.
And then, but I kind of always had my separate thing as well. So I did I was in a rock band while I was doing the Temple Bar gigs.
Yeah.
But doing just really late night gigs in the upstairs and Whelan's and doing all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And so that was where I got all my songs back then were like Wolf Mother kind of vibe and
Okay.
Led Zeppelin vibe. So I was kind of
Yeah,
screaming
yeah.
a little bit more.
Yeah.
But and then I went to do the pub gigs, and then I think doing the acoustic gigs kind of helped me figure out the craft of songwriting. And what to do.
Yeah.
And but yeah, that's how I kind of learned. And then I met Brian after that. Now they're in the Sarloose lads.
Yeah.
Andy's there as well, and they're smashing it. So
Yeah.
so it all worked out.
And you're saying you were playing like nearly metal
Yeah, literally, I had the metals on
So-
pedals. I used to just
Yeah.
obsess over Wolf Mother and Biffy Clyro, who I still obsess over. Biffy Clyro
Yeah.
class. Yeah, and then eventually, I met with Simon Neil from Biffy Clyro came in when I was doing my first album.
Right.
I was doing 22, which is one of the saddest songs in the whole fucking world. And I
Yeah.
was playing that, and he knew somebody in the studio, and he came in. He's like, "All right, Gavin."
No
I was
way.
like, "What the fuck?" Started
So-
freaking out.
So
and
he's like an idol to you, obviously. then,
Oh, he's like
yeah.
Scottish Santa. He's amazing.
Yeah.
He's such a lovely fella. But he came in, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Because I was just like, "This is fucking weird."
And what did he say to you?
He came in and he was like, "Can I play in this song as well?" I was like, "Yes, you can."
Oh, so
Yes.
he's on it.
He played acoustic guitar on it, yeah.
Really?
So he did that, and then we did a version of it together, which we ended up. It's somewhere in
Yeah.
emails. I don't know
Yeah,
where it
yeah.
is. Well, yeah, he's class.
Are you going to release that one?
I don't know, man. You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, give him a shout. But yeah, he's class. But that was one of the. I was like, "Fucking hell."
Yeah,
Simon
yeah.
Neil.
Well, did you start off when you were on your own as Gavin James, releasing your own music?
Yeah.
When did you notice things to start, happening? When did you realize people knew you for your music?
I think when I did release that song, there's a song called "Say Hello." I released that in 2012.
Yeah.
I think it was around the same time I was the Codeline Boys had just released their
Yeah.
All I Want, and I was cheeky. I was like, "Yo, do you want to bring me on tour? Yeah."
Yeah.
And then they brought me to the UK and stuff, and I came back and did Whelan's.
Yeah.
Came back and did Whelan's, and they did another Whelan's, and then I think when that song kind of did its thing, I felt like something's kind of happening.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what to do next. I was like, "What the fuck do you do next?"
I actually do remember listening to you doing that live on Today FM.
Yeah.
I said that was 2011.
That would have been 2000. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's years ago. That's mad long ago.
That's the first time I heard
8 years
you.
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember who you were on with.
It could have been Newstock. Well, it wasn't with. Was it New Stock? Because I did one session in New Stock and I did that song.
I think I have a feeling it could have been. I know. Was it maybe Tony Fenton before?
Oh yeah, Tony Fenton.
Was it him?
He probably plugged that song a lot.
Yeah.
Like, he's one of the first people to ever play my song.
Yeah. But that was the first time I heard you, and I was just like, that voice is just
Class.
unbelievable. Like,
Yeah,
you know, and
thanks,
I
man.
think people love your voice because, like, not just it's the high notes you reach. Like, I mean, you can go higher than any other artist I've come across.
Try my
before.
best. Yeah. Try.
What, did you always have? No, you had that high register.
When I stopped, I kind of stopped doing as many gigs in the pubs, and then I worked my voice a bit more at home.
Yeah.
And then I found out I was singing like Coldplay songs and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and I was flipping a bit more into falsetto, which I couldn't do before. And then eventually I started putting in every song I wrote. I just falsetto.
Yeah.
Even the covers I put falsetto. So I used it so much that I think it grew a bit better over time.
Yeah.
Because when I was doing gigs in 2009 or whatever it was like I didn't use any of it.
Mm-hmm.
I used to like flip sometimes accidentally
Right,
into
okay,
it.
yeah.
But yeah, and then I learned how to use it, and then I did Nervous, and then I was like, okay, this song is a bitch.
Yeah.
So I did that, and it was the first time I kind of like proper went for it, like falsetto kind of buzz.
Like I think people, when you think of your music, like you can just think of like people like getting engaged, like or just like you. There's something very romantic about listening to Gavin James.
That's
Sometimes,
cool.
like people obviously have got engaged at your gigs before.
Yeah. I mean, it happened. First tour we ever did, and most tours somebody gets engaged.
Yeah.
Somebody always asks on Instagram, "I'm gonna get proposed to my missus," or
Yeah.
at the gigs. So yeah, that's always class. But the weddings are fun. If I can ever make it to a wedding,
Yeah.
or anything, there's a few of them that I've done. It's lovely. It's great just to jump up and just play Book of Love, and then
Yeah.
usually it's the Book of Love. They always hit the Book of Love for the wedding because the rest of them are too sad. But yeah, no, it's great, and then it's so easy to do.
Yeah,
I'm always
yeah.
just in Dublin now.
Tell me the story about Book of Love, because I remember reading somewhere that was it your live at Whelan's
Yeah, Live at Whelan's.
gig, and it was an encore, wasn't it?
It was an encore. I
Yeah.
wasn't meant to play it. I actually cut it out of set because I didn't really know the words,
Yeah.
and it kind of shows in the recording because the words are a little wrong. So like,
I don't think anybody noticed.
nobody
that.
noticed, which is
Yeah.
fucking weird. I didn't notice until fucking weeks or months or years
Yeah.
afterwards. But yeah, no, that was just a random thing, and I we recorded the whole thing obviously for the Live at Whelan's album,
Yeah.
and then we cut that bit out, and then we had this radio promoter in Holland, and he's mad. He's still my dude, and he said like, this is going to be number one
Yeah.
in Holland in the new year, and it was like
Right.
Christmas when he said this. And I was like, there's no fucking way.
Yeah.
So it's literally a live recording from Whelan's
Yeah.
in Dublin, which is only like electric guitar and vocal. And he was like, it's gonna happen. I was like,
Right.
okay, cool. It's a bit mad. And then he got it on the radio in January, and we flew over to Holland. And when we got there, it was number one on the radio.
Was it?
It's like mental, and that kicked off everything in Europe
Yeah.
for me. So that's how Europe kind of kicked off, and then that's how the Book of Love really got Europe kicking off, and they got America, and they got Capitol Records.
Yeah.
Interesting. Then we signed the Capitol Records in that same year.
Tell me about America. Like, what was it like going over there for the first
It's
time?
mad. There
Yeah.
was Jimmy Kimmel show was the first time I think.
Yeah.
It's madness. Oh, actually, no, I went over there the first time with the Codeline Boys.
Yeah.
So that was madness. It's great doing like support slots. You just do 35 minutes,
Yeah.
and then you just go drinking afterwards.
And what was going through your head, like, you know, I'm going over playing on Jimmy Kimmel. Like,
Yeah, no, it's mental. You don't really
Yeah.
think about it until you do it, and then you're like,
Yeah.
oh, that was cool. And then you meet them, and then you meet all these people. Even the James Corden show was just like, it's just mad.
Yeah.
It's not really. It doesn't feel real, to be honest. So it's
Yeah.
pretty mental to be doing them things. But yeah, them things. The things you think of a lot when you're growing up. Like I remember watching Other Voices when I was a kid with my dad all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
My dad would always be like, even when I was like 10, he'd be like, why are you not on that? Why are
Yeah.
you not on that? Later with Jules Holland and stuff, he'd say, why are you not on that?
Yeah.
And then so the Other Voices, when Other
You're like,
Voices
"Dad,
happened.
I'm 10, Dad.
I'm
That's why
10.
I'm not
Give
on
me a
it."
couple of years. But like
Yeah.
even when we did Other Voices, I was like, my dad loses shit.
Yeah.
So like he loves it. He loves it more than I do, to be honest. All the kind of madness.
He's a huge fan of yours.
Yeah, he's class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say a lot of people, because I've heard, like, he's a postman, isn't he?
Yeah,
So people would he'd be well known around Dublin.
yeah.
So people would often stop him and talk about you.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
he stops and talks to them, talks about me, to be honest.
Yeah.
He stops everybody on. He used to, like, when we were up for like a Meteor Choice Award years in 2012 for Say Hello, he used to roll his cart and like give
Right.
out pamphlets to everybody
Yeah.
saying vote for him, vote for him, vote for him.
Really.
And he saw them talk to them for like 10 minutes each. He's mad, like.
So he's like your main promoter.
Oh, yeah, he's insane.
Yeah.
Mad, yeah.
Yeah.
But he dresses up as Santa as well every Christmas.
What's the story I heard about he said something to you about the 3 Arena? The time.
Yeah. Oh, he said he bet him a tenner. I bet him a tenner. I went to see Velvet Revolver there when I was in the first gig I went to ever. I think it was when it was the Point.
Yeah.
Velvet Revolver playing there, and I said, I bet you a tenner I'll do this gig. I was like 4 years, so I would have been 14.
Yeah.
So like, no fucking way. But yeah, eventually I did it I was 23 or something like that, and he gave me the tenner.
He gave you the
So
tenner.
it's class.
Like that must be an incredible feeling to play the Three Arena itself. Like you're only there a few nights ago for the
for the 2FM
ball.
thing. Doing that, that was class. That was fun.
that?
It's great. I did 4 songs, so I just rocked on. Rocked off. It was great.
Yeah,
A lot of fun. It's some that gig is mad.
What's it like playing to your hometown of Dublin?
It's Delhi. It's just comfy. It just feels really nice. Everybody just wants to have fun. To be honest. Yeah. Same with tonight. I mean, the INDC as well. It's just everybody just wants. It's New Year's as well. So and I'm on at like 11.
Yeah.
So people are going to be going mental.
Yeah,
hopefully,
people are going to be in great form tonight.
So that's what you want. I mean, that's important, especially when
you're
rocking out with the band and stuff. So,
but I think the great thing about you as well is that you can play stadiums all over the world, but like get you in a room of 40 people.
Yeah, I love that.
Like the Ruby sessions in Dublin.
I love that.
It's one of the nicest gigs you can do in Dublin because
it's
just
you
so
fuck up.
intimate. Like.
You know when you fuck up.
Yeah, you do. Yeah,
like because it's so quiet. It's just so insane. Connor just makes sure everybody's. It's like a church. So you go in and if you fuck up on guitar, it's the first thing I realized when I did the first time years ago that shit, I really got to work on my guitar work.
Yeah.
Because you're doing gigs all the time, and I was beating the shit out of the guitar when I was doing pub gigs and stuff.
Yeah.
And I just never really. I used to do all the triplets all the time, but when you're doing a gig in front of 40 people in a small room, I usually just talk for 20 minutes in between songs.
Yeah.
Particularly when it's a small gig, because I'll just get more nervous, and then funny will just happen somehow.
Do you find that you do talk more when you're nervous?
Way more, yeah. I talk a lot more when I'm doing smaller gigs. I talk a lot more because if it's much easier to kind of grab the crowd and have a bit of banter back and forth.
Would you be more comfortable on a bigger stage than you would be playing in front of a small crowd?
I don't know. I love both of them, to be honest. I love to kind of do both because I love doing the Olympic is deadly because I did that by myself and I've done it with a band. So I love the two of them are totally different gigs.
Yeah.
So if I do it by myself, it's just really chill.
Yeah.
And most of it is me chatting about the songs and then chatting about just everything in general, and just and then usually somebody's like, "Oh, look, Gavin's like, what's cracking?" Banter between back and forth, and then with the band, it's just from the get go, it's just it's in, and people are jumping up and down, going crazy, and so it's a little bit of a different gig. But I love both. I try to incorporate a little bit of both.
Yeah. How many times have you played the Olympia?
I did it when I did it the first time. It was 2 nights. I think. And that was one night the first time. Then it was 2 nights, and then I did 3 nights last year.
Yeah.
This year.
I was talking with Danny O'Reilly from the Corona.
He did it 37 times.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I was asking him about that. I was like, 37.
That's insane.
How
if you add up that, how many people is that in general? If that was.
What is it? About 2,500? No, 2,000.
It's pretty much on the nose. 2,000. So if you that's 74,000 people.
Over the last 10 years.
That's insane.
I was giving out to him because I was like, why are you only bringing out your live album now after 37 gigs?
I know, yeah.
They just brought out
had to make sure it was
sure it was good.
Get the right one. Lucky number 37.
Yeah. Have you any plans on bringing out another live album?
I would love to, yeah. I think I might do something for the next one. I'm trying to think of different ways to do it, to be honest, because I don't know why way to release stuff now, because I'm thinking single album.
Yeah.
Because I think I released too little from the album that I released. The only thing at home. I went more single. Dragged it a little bit, but I don't know. I have so many new tunes, so I'm trying to writing everything on piano now instead of the guitar.
Okay, and I'd say you only learn piano.
I'm shocking at it.
Yeah.
But it actually helps so much being really shit at it because I'm surprised every time I put my hands on it. Because I don't know what the notes are, and I keep writing stuff that I would never go near on guitar.
Yeah.
Because I just have my brain goes, oh, that should go there.
Yeah.
On guitar. I'm playing for nearly 20 years now. So with the piano, I've been playing I wouldn't even say I've been playing it properly at all.
Yeah.
But it's so nice to.
But you started playing it live as well.
Yeah, I can play it always, and because that's 4 chords.
So is that the only song you've learned on it?
I can do that, and I can do all my new songs on it.
Okay.
But because I have 20. I got a piano in the house. A couple of months ago, and I just started playing it every morning.
Yeah.
With a coffee and just.
Do the next door neighbours be knocking on the wall?
No, one of the next door neighbours is an opera singer actually.
Really?
Yeah, I just hear her every Friday evening.
So it's just you're all just singing in your own houses.
Yeah, I've yet to meet any of them. There's flats next to my house.
Yeah. Do they know it's Gavin James next door?
I don't know. Yeah. I don't really play always on the piano, so I don't know shit. So. I did every Friday evening. Yes.
They're getting free gigs all the time.
Yeah. That's what I don't care. Oh, fuck.
So you're
It'd
saying
be great if they fucking hated me, to be honest.
Well,
they were like, fucking hate
I haven't met anybody that hates
I would
Gavin James.
move the piano closer to the wall.
I do, yeah.
And get some speakers.
Mic it up.
I'd be class.
Get a PA system in.
Mic
Yeah.
up the yeah, I'd be class.
You've a new album written, so do you?
I have lots written now. I don't
Yeah.
know how album worthy it is, but I definitely have I've written about 30 on that piano.
Yeah,
So I'd say about 7 of them I'm very happy with.
yeah.
Like really, and then there's another couple of them that I've written in studio this year with the lads in the band.
Yeah.
That are like 5 of them, and then I write with all the stuff on the piano. It feels a bit more natural, to be honest. So all that, I'm really excited about all that because it kind of brings it back a little bit more to the live at Whelan's kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of, especially because it's different. It sounds a lot different than anything really. It's kind of Randy Newman-esque. To be honest,
very good.
it's very Toy Story.
Like you're going to be singing "You Got a Friend in Me."
Literally,
Yeah.
I've got a song that sounds hilarious like that.
Really?
Yeah, but it's in a good way.
Yeah. How do you find the difference between writing on your own and like collaborating with other musicians?
I don't.
Songwriters.
You have to know them. I think you have to
Yeah.
like. I love writing with people just because, but I find if I write with people, if it can turn really quickly into a song that I'm never gonna do, which is kind of nice because then I can just focus on writing a song for somebody else,
Yeah.
which is nice. But I've written with some people that I love writing with. Like there's one guy I wrote a couple of the songs on the last album. His name is Ollie Green.
Okay.
And I write a lot with him because he's just really he bounces off him.
Yeah.
So he kind of guides you in the right way instead of jumping in and saying like a lyric like, "Oh, the girls on the dance floor," and I fucking hate that shit.
Yeah.
Little things like I think the trick of writing songs with people in general is like you have to know when to take. Like I have to know when to take a backseat or to drive the car. If you want to drive the car, if you're on a better buzz than somebody else that day, because that person that day could have written 300 songs that year.
Yeah.
And it's just another day for them. But for myself, I write a song whenever it kind of happens.
Yeah.
So like, but sometimes I sit back and like, oh, he's on it.
Yeah.
And I'll throw in whatever, but I won't ruin the flow. So like, it's whoever's comfortable driving the car, to be honest.
Yeah. And do you go through dry spells?
I did actually before the Only Take It Home album, and I wrote that whole album at Christmas.
Really?
The whole thing, like,
Yeah.
and I had nothing. I had half of a song that made the album, and I finished it at Christmas. But I had like no songs, like 0 songs. And the label were like, "What's the crack with the album?" And I was like, "It's in my head, like, in my head." And then we ended up me and Ollie wrote Always together.
Yeah.
And that was the first song that we wrote. And then after that, everything just went, just came out. Then
What's the response been since Only Take It Home?
Delhi, it's grand. It's brought me to loads of different places. So brought me over to we did a world tour this year, which feels like years ago. We did a world tour and we went everywhere pretty much.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to do that properly and see if it could be done properly, and then I actually did it and I was like, oh, that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
So we're gonna try to do it again next year with the next stuff.
And it brought you to outer space as well.
And I fucking mad.
Yeah. So you launched the album on a balloon.
Yeah.
Brought it with a camera.
Yeah, like a mad. To be honest, it was like a titanium weird balloon.
Yeah.
Like SpaceX.
Yeah.
But yeah, the lads they just threw it up in Scotland.
Yeah.
And we faked it. It was like in Phoenix Park, but like.
All right.
So like it was the same green.
Okay. All right. Okay.
But no, we did it, and then it landed somewhere in Wales, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, in some farm.
If you check out the video because it's class to look at.
It is mental. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the song's over and stuff. It's gas.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't think it's real. Would have cost so much more
It's
money.
like the moon landing or something.
Yeah, it would have cost so much more money to not do it. Like to fake it, special
set up
effects.
a studio. Yeah.
Would have been insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, went up and then popped in and came back down.
Mm-hmm.
I was bricking it just in case it fell on somebody.
Could you imagine?
Oh
Yeah,
my
they
God,
got hit
you'd
by a Gavin James
Be
CD.
fucked.
They actually would. Yeah.
Hopefully it was my neighbours that hate me.
If you were saying as well, like the amount of touring you've done since do you tire yourself out?
No, I find it easier to be on tour than not being on tour because I find it's so handy just to eat healthy. People always say it's harder to eat good on tour and be good on tour. But I to start of this year I was like I went off the beer completely until the summer. Yeah. More or less. And I plan on doing the same next year.
Yeah.
But and it was so much easier to do on tour because I was gigging so much. It was like 3 days on, 1 day off, 4 days on, 1 day off.
Okay.
And we're traveling so much, there was no point in having a drink.
Yeah.
And then like even eating wise, it was just like let's just make sure everything backstage is like there's some salad, a bit of tuna, all that sort of stuff. I think my body must have went into ketosis or something like that.
Yeah,
so I went
didn't know what was happening.
Madness, because I was massive at Christmas. I was like, no, I'm definitely still big, but I was massive at Christmas. And then I started drinking like nothing afterwards.
Yeah.
And it just made it so much easier to keep the energy up and everything. It's class.
With the new music, what's the plan? Are you going to bring out singles over the next for 2020, or what are you going to do?
I have one coming out in February, I'd say.
Okay.
So that's the next single. That'll be the start of the next album, I think. And then before the summer, there'll be another one. And then I'm probably going to do a collaboration with somebody as well.
Yeah, very good. Well, listen, thank you so much.
Thanks very much,
I'm
buddy.
looking forward to the gig.
Cheers.
Thanks for listening to the Glen Eagle INEC Arena podcast. If you liked this podcast, make sure you subscribe to this channel and follow us online for more.